Hello, traders. It's 8:02 a.m. Chicago time on Thursday, the 5th of November, 2020. Thanks for joining me today. This is episode number 1873. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. What we've got here today is a market that is putting risk on. Election results continue to be tallied in the in several states, crucial states. We're still waiting on Georgia, Nevada, Pennsylvania. I believe South Carolina is it? Let's see. Sorry, I lost the page. One second. We are tallying. The U.S. is tallying Georgia, which has a which has Trump in the lead by about 20,000 votes. Nevada has been kind of sitting sideways. Nevada is expected to start making an announcement today at noon Eastern. North Carolina, where the difference is about 80,000 votes. Pennsylvania, which is at 89%, with a difference of about 160,000 votes or so. Most of the votes that have been tallied in Pennsylvania now are mail-in ballots that have gone to Biden. And Arizona is 88% done, but it's leaning Biden. Right now, Biden is at 264 electoral votes, needs 270 to win Trump against Trump's 214. This could still be a toss-up here, and as a result, the market has been kind of jittering around. But as more certainty continues with these tallies, the market has continued to rally, mainly not because the market is voting for Biden or is preferring Biden, as many of you know. It's really because less and less uncertainty is coming into the market, or more and more certainty is coming into the market, and that allows money to be put to work. So the leader today is the Nasdaq, up 285 points, 2.42% from yesterday's settlement in the futures. Gold is taking a pop higher, up $36.20, 1.91 gold. The folks in gold are expecting a stimulus to hit the markets, to hit the economy before the end of the year. E-mini S&P up 57 points. We've been gapping up pretty much every day, up 57 points, 1.67. The DAX and the Euro stocks are higher. The Dow is up 325 to start. These sound very similar to the last 2 days. The dollar again taking a hit, down 82 and a half cents, trading at $92.59. Crude oil off 13 cents at 39.02. That's the stance this morning. In terms of what we've got for earnings, really, we did get QCOM after the close. Before the market today, we had AstraZeneca and Bristol Myers, Alibaba, General Motors. General Motors came in with a surprise of 105%. General Motors expected at $1.38, came in at $2.83. Really healthy earnings. Revenues were slightly off, and then AstraZeneca came in with a surprise, also expected at 44 cents, came in at 94 cents. So really strong earnings this morning pre-market. In terms of what's on the calendar, we did get the BOE interest rate decision this morning, the Bank of England. And then since then, it's been a few numbers out of Europe: retail sales, construction PMI in Germany and Great Britain. Jobless claims came in at 787,000, higher than the 782. This number is, by the way, historically extremely well. Actually, jobless claims came in at 751,000 versus 745. This number is still historically high. And then non-farm productivity came in slightly worse at 4.9 versus 5%. Today, the big announcement is the interest rate decision as the FOMC conference takes place, or FOMC meeting takes place. The interest rate decision is expected at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern time today. It was pushed to today instead of yesterday because of the election. I bet I know that these guys did not expect this election to be settled by today. The Fed is expected to leave interest unchanged at 25 basis points. The press conference is at 2:30. The market's going to be paying very, very particular attention to that, and we're expecting volatility on that announcement. Although pretty much everything is known. Tomorrow is also a big number. We have non-farm payrolls tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern. Non-farm payrolls and unemployment. The biggest economic release of the month, and that's where things stand. Looking at what was expected yesterday, the primary scenario is a dip down, consolidate down in the 83 area, 83, 85 area, and then a pop higher, and then as election results came, it could either push up or down. The secondary scenario is a small pullback, small consolidation, small pullback, and then push to 80 even. 34 80 even. This is what I was looking for yesterday. Here's what we got. Actually, let me switch this back to a 6 Renko. Just give this 1 second. Maybe I should play music in the background in this broadcast. That way, when I'm fiddling around my charts, you've got something going. So remember, yesterday's plan for scenario 2 is a dip down right in here, looking for a dip into 3,400 and then a push to 80 right here, 80 and then a turn. Here's what the market did. We pushed down. We initially pushed down to 3,400, then we dipped below into the gap and pushed into 95.75 and then passed, and then we start to really rally. This was just a strong push up to 34.65, and ultimately we get the 34.80 on the nose, and then it rotates back down to the mid area and holds steady right in the middle of the range. Most of the day the profile was a trend type profile until it hit 80, and then things kind of started to go sideways. A lot of consolidation breaks here just all throughout until we have this big zipper that formed into the close. There is an MC point of control at 34.35.50 as well as 34.44, and it basically stopped right there. So balance from the past, from the recent past, between 35.50 and 44, which by the way, 44 and also 60 overnight traded a whole lot, and the market closed right in between there. That's the short-term view. And the recap of yesterday. This morning, the volume's not as high as it was yesterday in yesterday's overnight session, of course, but still relatively high. Instead of 200,000, we have 328 in a trend day and a gap up. We are trading just above yesterday's high and quite a bit above yesterday's close. In a market that simply was on the buy side all night long. Here's the big volume that went off. There was a nice step here in the profile. By the time I got to bed, there was a very clear ledge in the profile right against yesterday's point of control. It traded and traded. There were a ton of iceberg trades there, and then the market finally released to the upside. And has not looked back. The profile is somewhat P-shaped, kind of hard to tell what shape that is, but somewhat P-shaped. But we know that the value has been shifted to the upper part of the profile. The overnight point of control being 96.75. and we are trading below it. It has battled this area here for quite a bit, the 91, and is releasing to the downside. Full session VWAP at 34.78, full session mid at 34.6850. Those are the key areas that I'm paying attention to this morning. So that's where we stand. Delta's positive. The overnight inventory is mostly long. You could see that the bulk of the volume has taken place above the prior day's close, which is at 36.50. Let me double check that. Yep, 36.50. A lot of volume went off at 36.50. The expectation is it's likely to dip down, push into 78 potentially. And remember, yesterday 80 was the high with coinciding VWAP here. We want to see what it does at this 80 on the open. If it does not hold, then I'm looking for mid, and then beyond there, 61.50 becomes a key area to test below. Okay. I know it's a lot to take in, but there's a lot going on. So here's what the heat map is showing. A lot of noise. A lot of noise. This is CT Bookmap. You can find it at ctbookmap.pro. It's really slow on this supposedly high-powered laptop with an i7 9750 chip in it. Just cannot keep up with the broadcasting and the charting and the Googling. So here's what we've seen overnight. It's been a really busy overnight session, and there's just a ton of these high, these pokey kind of offers and bids that pop in throughout the book. All these orange spots, orange lines, are just large liquidity areas, bid or ask, that are that very often trade out. There is a lot of activity going on, and it does look to me, a lot of it does look like hedge activity as the market kind of pushes these uh, decile figures, the tens, 60, 70, 80. We see a lot of activity at those levels. But really, look at this thing. It's really hard to read through the order flow. If you're an order flow only trader, it definitely is a tricky market. And as I talked about yesterday, you get these strong pushes, comes all the way back. Strong push again, comes all the way back. Sells off, consolidate, come all the way back. Push up, come all the way back. Really rough kind of rotations and order flow as a result of what's going on. Let's take a look at what's expected for tomorrow. So there's a lot going on here. We breached the 3,500 century figure. The all-time high is at 35.7675, which we can cover in just a day and a half, 2 days. We can get to the all-time high, which is where's my screen? There it is. The all-time high, which is 35.7675, right up here is the all-time high. And that's not very far with the current volatility. Close to close volatility, closing price, the closing price in between sessions is 44 points. 44 points right now. The 20-day historical volatility projected, and so it's 44 points is we can cover that in quite a bit of time. In fact, we can push beyond there. We can push 88 points and come back and close within the 44 point mark. So that's where we stand. So this is, maybe the non-farm payrolls does it, maybe the FOMC does it, but who knows? What's this about today or tomorrow? I'm not sure what we're talking about. Yeah, I have not slept well since the election. I mean, was up till 2:30 a.m. election night, and then got about 3 hours of sleep, could not nap yesterday, and I'm just running on fumes. I can't wait for the weekend, to be honest with you. Just getting too old for this stuff. Um, anyway, I don't know what I said. I'm just going to keep moving on. Overnight high at 35.0850. So what are we looking for today? This area right here, obviously from yesterday's high. There's a little bit of confluence to the left at the 80. It was a turning point yesterday. We do have VWAP in the area. We do have the mid underneath there, coinciding with some structure, which is the value area high just below at 34.68 to 34.70. The expectation this morning is an open auction that actually dips down as inventories balance. The overnight inventory is long. You can see the deltas also on the long side, aggressor long. I'm expecting it to push into VWAP, and I'm looking for it to slip down into the 70 area, back to the 61.50 this morning. So we're looking at 80. Here I go, writing on the screen. I don't know why I've been doing this, but we've been doing this, so here it goes. 80, 70, 61. Ooh, come on, 61. This Logitech mouse is like being worked overtime. So 70, 80, 70, 61, and then beyond there, we're looking at the 50, 51, and so on. But I'm expecting it to push down into the 61, bounce back up, consolidate, and get back to the high of the day. This is the path I'm looking for on scenario one. So the overnight high is not expected to be taken out until later in the session. Secondary scenario is more traditional. Open auction, squeeze through the overnight point of control into 35.08, push through the 16 and up to the naked point of control up there at 35.25 before it comes back and consolidates into the FOMC. The FOMC is going to be in here somewhere. So I'm looking for this task to be done, the overnight high to be done on scenario 2 early, and it can push as far as 35.25. Again, we're within earshot of the all-time high, and that's how things are shaping up. Scenario 3, again, is traditional. Open, test up, impulse down, straight into the 61, 51, and then back into line with the 34.44 and 34.36. So now we have 44 down here, and that'll be scenario 3 most likely. So very important to watch what's going on at the open and to see which side is kind of making progression as it lifts. You know, does the energy, remember the energy price is just a kind of an indication, a dot. The energy is in the volume, and that's where order flow comes in. And so we want to see, as the market inputs energy, in other words, as it trades volume, how well does price respond? And that's what's going to tell me which side I should be leaning on. I'm also paying attention to where we are versus the open always. The opening print and where we are right now, it gives me an immediate view on how the market is leaning. So that's all I have for you. Good luck for today, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Convergent members, we have our group mentoring, a monthly group mentoring session today at noon Central, 1 Eastern. If you plan to submit yourself for that, please do so before noon Eastern. Good luck, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Take care. Don't forget, non-farm FOMC today at 2, non-farm payroll, and then FOMC conference, press conference at 2:30, and then non-farm payrolls at 8:30. And I really should just go to sleep for the next 4 days, something like that. Good luck, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.